Hey everyone, and welcome back to this podcast. Today, I want to talk straight to the people who are hovering over the keyboard, finger twitching, desperate to write that first sentence, but completely frozen by one giant scary word. It's plagiarism. I see you. You want to start your blog, your novel, or just a simple paper. But the fear of accidentally stealing someone's idea, or even worse now, getting tangled up with AI generated text, is stopping you cold. It feels like this complicated legal thing that only academics can understand. As a book author of 27 books, blogger, and a writing coach, let me tell you something important right off the bat. Plagiarism is mostly a habit problem, not a character problem. You are not a bad writer or a criminal. You just need three simple habits to write with complete confidence. The first, the idea versus the expression. Let's tackle the biggest myth first. You do not need to cite common knowledge. You don't need a station for saying, the sun rises in the east, or coffee contains caffeine, that's common knowledge. Here is the trickier part ideas. An idea like climate change affects global migration is a big concept. You don't need to cite the general concept, but if you read a study that says by 2050, X number of people will move due to rising sea levels, and you use that specific finding or statistic that needs a citation. Think of this way. If the specific fact, statistic, or unique conclusion didn't live inside your brain before you read a source, you need to acknowledge where you got it. This simple distinction, general idea versus specific evidence, will solve 80% of your citation worries. Second, learn to paraphrase in the right way. Okay? So you found a great piece of information. You cannot use their exact words, that's quoting, and you need quotation marks for that. So you decide to paraphrase. Now, this is where beginners often slip up. Paraphrasing isn't just changing three words in a sentence. True, honest paraphrasing means you will read the original source, then put the original text away, close the books, minimize the browser tab, and then explain the idea out loud to yourself, as if you are explaining it to a friend. And then last, write down your explanation. Since you used your own language and sentence structure, it sounds like you. You still absolutely must cite the original source because it's their idea, but your text will be original. This practice is also brilliant because it proves you actually understood the material, not just copied it. But please, let's listen to disclaimer. You can do the paraphrasing when you write maybe like a journal or maybe you write a thesis and then the article on the internet. But when you write fiction such as short story or novel, please don't paraphrase. You need to have your own words and your idea. It doesn't matter to be inspired from other genre. For example, I I am a big fan of Harry Potter and also Hunger Games. So I become a fan of dystopian genre and also fantasy. But when I write my fantasy Indonesian novel, I created my own social structure and also my own society rule in my novel. Don't paraphrase the novel that have been published before you. It could be plagiarism. Now, we move to the third rule, the AI rule. Finally, let's talk about the digital monster, AI. Beginner writers worry that if they use ChatGPT for inspiration, they are plagiarizing. Here is the simple rule. If you copy paste what AI generates and present it as your own original, human written work, it's a form of academic dishonesty or misrepresentation. AI should be a starting line, not a finish line. The best way to avoid this is to lean into your humanity. Ask AI for a list of bullet points or a quick summary of a topic, but then you, the writer, must do the heavy lifting. First, filter. Which of these points are truly relevant to my message? Second, contextualize. How does this idea relate to my own experience or perspective? Third, write. Use the AI's information as raw clay and shape it with your voice, your tone, and your unique examples. The truth is, your unique angle, your humor, and your personal story, that what readers crave, and it's something AI cannot plagiarize because it comes directly from you. So, put down the fear. Pick up those three rules: the idea versus expression, real paraphrasing, and human context. Then get writing. The world is waiting to hear your voice, not a perfectly cited or AI generated wall of text. Now, go start that first sentence. I know you can do it. Read my free workbook, How to Cure Your Fear in Writing, that you can find on the description. See you in the next episode.